Today we're going to review another showerhead. This is the High Sierra Classic showerhead. My family and I, we have been using these for the past 3 years and we absolutely love them. Just a great showerhead, great shower experience, and I would highly recommend this to anyone. I've already done a review of this, and if you're wanting to watch that, you can click above and watch that video. But High Sierra, they have improved this product, created a new version, and they're calling that the Classic Plus. And that's what we're going to look at today. We're going to do a review of this and compare it with the previous model. Before we get to that, I did want to state, High Sierra, they contacted me. They sent me this shower head for free for review, but they are not paying me for this review. I'm not affiliated with High Sierra in any way, and they're not reviewing my content before I upload it. So everything you hear, these are all my opinions. So the first question someone might ask me is, how can you be so passionate about shower heads as to create 2 videos reviewing them online? And that's a good question. I don't think it's so much that I'm passionate about shower heads. It's more that as an engineer, I get passionate when I find a product that is very well designed and manufactured. And that is exactly what you have in these 2 shower heads. You can tell that High Sierra, they're not just trying to manufacture a shower head and release it. They're not even trying to make a good shower head and release it. They're trying to make the best shower head they can and release it. Every single part of these shower heads is manufactured top quality. They used excellent materials, excellent machining methods. They put together the best possible shower head they could. And it really shows. This is a premium shower head. There's no doubt about it. You could definitely tell that when you pick it up and hold it. It has heft and weight. This is heavier than pretty much any other shower head you're going to see, even though it's significantly smaller than. It's machined out of solid blocks of metal, and it's definitely high quality. If we do a direct comparison of the 2 shower heads, you can see they are very similar. They're basically the same overall size, just very similar. They each have a swiveling head on it, and kind of unique to their design, they have a single orifice in there where the water comes out instead of a lot of pinholes like you see on a standard shower head. And that's actually a good thing, because the single orifice doesn't plug or clog up over time like the tiny pinholes do on a standard shower head. So overall, the 2 shower heads are very similar. Obviously the main difference is this plastic sleeve on here. They've replaced it with a metal sleeve on here. Now, the person at High Sierra who contacted me said that one of the main things they hear about their shower heads is that they're noisier than a standard shower head. And I don't know if I would necessarily agree with the fact that they're noisier. I think it's probably more accurate to say that it's a different type of noise. My guess is it's probably a different pitch, but not necessarily like higher volume. And so I think people just aren't expecting the different pitch, and so to them it sounds different, and so maybe that's why they complain or comment about that. And he said that they've redesigned the Classic, and the Classic Plus is supposed to address those noise issues. So I haven't had a chance to try it yet. We'll try that out soon. But if I had to guess how the metal sleeve of the plastic sleeve does that, as I showed you, they each have the slit in there, which is the orifice. Now my guess is when the water comes out of that orifice, it basically spreads out into a wide cone, and then this cylindrical sleeve here basically kind of focuses that cone into a tighter spray and focuses it into the shower spray that you expect. Now all that water just continuously smacking the edge of this plastic sleeve is probably what's making the different noise. And by switching to a metal sleeve, metal is obviously denser, and so it's probably able to absorb and dampen the sound of the water hitting it better than the water hitting the plastic cone. Well, I wanted to show real quick just how easy it is to change a shower head, just in case there's someone who thinks they can't do it. Step 1 obviously is remove your old shower head, and depending on how long the shower head has been on there, you may need to use pliers to get it off. It's just standard thread direction, so you unscrew it, and then I would clean off the threads with like a towel. Now this white stuff on here, after it's clean, you need this. This is Teflon tape. You can buy it at any hardware store. It's cheap. It's like $1, maybe $2. And you wrap it around here, maybe 4, 5, 6 times, and then you just kind of hold it and pull it tight and it'll break off, and then you just, fold it down or smooth it out. And so now you've got Teflon tape on there. Then you take your new shower head and you just hand screw it on. You don't need a wrench to tighten this on. Hand tight is good enough. It should not leak with hand tight. So there we go. That's all there is to installing this. Anyone can do that. Through the magic of editing, it's now 2 weeks later, which has given me a chance to use this new shower head. And I'm pleased to say it's every bit as good as the previous shower head. Everything that was good about it, the pressure, the spray, everything is as good on this one as the previous one. As far as noise goes, I wasn't expecting much, but I can say that the noise has changed for the better with this shower head. It is definitely both lower in volume and lower pitch. And it gives this one basically sounds like a regular shower head, whereas the previous one has a higher pitch sound to it. And it's not even something you really notice until you have the chance to use these two shower heads back to back. Then you notice a difference. And I'll attach some sound clips of the original and the Classic Plus so you can hear the difference. And I don't think it really comes through on the camera like it does in real life, but I would just sum up by saying that basically this sounds exactly like a standard shower head, whereas the other one was a little bit higher pitch. I wanted to analyze the sound a little bit more closely, so I've used a program called a frequency analyzer. The left-hand side here is the original Classic. The right-hand side is the new Classic Plus. Vertical axis is the sound frequency from high to low, and the horizontal axis is time. Each of these represents about a 10-second audio clip. And the colors, reds, orange, yellows, represent a higher sound volume, and blues and purples represent lower. So if you look at the bottom, the original shower head definitely had more oranges and yellows versus the new Classic Plus. In the middle, the new Classic Plus has a dark blue band, whereas the original one had a lot of green in that same region. And even if you go up from there in the higher end, you can see the original had the green going up higher than the new one. So definitely from top to bottom, all frequencies, the new shower head is a better performing shower head. Now, if we want to look a little bit closer at actual water usage. So this is my water bill for the 3 years before installing the new shower heads. And the vertical axis is in units, which is how my water bill is. And a unit is 100 cubic feet, which is the same as 748 gallons. And you definitely notice the water usage jumps around from month to month, which is typical of a water bill. So you kind of got to average it out and look at the average usage over time. If we look at the 3 years after switching the shower head, so you can see there was a drop in the amount of water used. And if we analyze these numbers a little bit more closely, so before installing the new shower head, our average monthly usage was 4.6 units. And after making the change, our usage dropped to 3.5 units, which means over the 3 years, we've saved about 30,000 gallons of water. Our monthly water bill dropped by about $10.60, which means over the course of 3 years, we've saved about $360 on our water bill. So you can definitely see you will save money by switching out your shower head. In conclusion, I am a big fan of both of these shower heads, the Classic and the Classic Plus, and I would highly recommend either of these to anyone who's looking to save money in water. As far as which one is best for you, I would probably suggest go with whichever one you like the look of. So if you like the look of the different colored rings on this, then go with this shower head. If you don't really care about aesthetics, if they're the same, then I would say go with the Classic Plus. But either way, you can't go wrong and you will save money. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this review. Thanks.